One final hurrah here for Season 4, the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series here at Dover International Speedway for the Shift Championship 100 miles. The monster, he is hungry. Look at that Dodge Charger back in '08. How cool is that? Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth and alongside me for one final time this season. Hey, Aaron Creed. How we doing tonight, Aaron?
Good to be back for the season finale at the Monster Mile. This is going to be a fun one. And the championship, once we go green, it'll be pretty much locked up, but there's still a lot of scores to be settled before we take a good long break.
Absolutely. Taking a look there at the front of the starting grid is going to be the last year's winner of this very event, Evan Bollier in the 56 car, starting on the pole. Three-time reigning defending series champion John Peters in the 09 car. Not going to be able to get that championship here tonight, but he's going to start on the outside.
How about that, too? 0.000 seconds separating that front row. But back to row 2, we got Steven Daddio. He's come on strong late in the season. And Kenny Kibbe, who, by taking the green flag, will be the new champion after coming off another win at Motegi last week.
Mr. Senpai himself, Magic Mike Hopkins in the 78 car, solid qualifying effort up in the top 5, starting P5. Keith Lord in the 17 car, right on his outside, starting 6th.
Yeah, Glessner will start in the 7th spot in the number 10, and Corey Casagrande, he's going to have to wait one more week in real life to go racing with Thompson Speedway postponing, but he's here at Dover, starting in 8th.
Big things going on here for Brent Roy as well at Speedway 660. The Camry kid going to roll off P9. Jason Ricker in the 9 car on his outside in the 10th starting position. And
in row 6, a couple Pennsylvanians there. Brandon Uhouse and Devin Marhefka, who's going to get a turn in the late model at Jennerstown Speedway once they get going this season.
When do I get a turn in a late model? Come on now. Brandon Marhefka matching his number with his starting position, pair of 13s for him. Adam Hendry in the 62 car, he's going to start P14.
And a solid qualifying run there for Henry, coming on strong late in the season. Ryan Salvatore starting 15th, Cody LeBlanc in 16th. As we get on the pace lap here, and we'll finish it off here. The Ship brothers starting in row 9. Starting in 19th was Jeffrey Brown, 0.69 seconds back from the pole time. Nice. And Reggie Parent, he's in a heated battle for 3rd in the points, starting 20th. And then you see Zane Farrell, Johnny Miller, and Scott McDonald rounding out the field. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing here shortly.
New colors there for the 14 car. It's not a pretty pink race car anymore. Now it's a Stonks car. How about that? Pretty cool to see that. But you can see the 26 car down in the apron. I think it's just getting a quick high five from the Geico logo or something along those lines. But the 09 up in the outside. We've seen him run that outside at just about every track we've run so far here this season. Hard to believe, 18 weeks, 18 races here in the NEP with a couple of off weeks throughout. Starting last fall, coming all the way through the winter months, and now we're getting ready to heat things up one final time, and hopefully this heat from this race, this momentum carries us on into the spring, on into the summer, to the real racetracks where it's 75 and sunny all the damn time. Really looking forward to getting out to the real racetracks here coming up shortly. But before we get there, we got 100 laps on the docket here for the Shift Championship 100. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here tonight. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitch. And be sure to give us the like, subscribe, the follow, all of that good stuff. And in honor of Championship Weeks, plural, here at Vidane TV, shoot on over to Vidane.net, grab yourself some merchandise, use promo code CHAMP25, CHAMP25, to get yourself 25% off at checkout. There goes the pace car. He's going to go order himself a hooded sweatshirt. Still cool out here in the month of April. We're going to wait for Barney in the flag stand up in the green flag. He sees those drivers coming out of turn 4. Green flag flies. We are racing for the final time here in the New England, Pennsylvania Shift Marketing and Design Grand National Series season number 4.
And it's dead heat up front between that 3-time defending champ John Peters and last year's Dover winner Evan Bollier. Bollier's not giving up. we had an interesting stat come through earlier where Boyer is the only driver in the Xfinity car history of the NEP to complete every lap. So he's going to probably be on his way to doing that. He's going to want to lock up third in the points here before this evening is over. And we had a couple drivers brushing the wall there within the top five, and everyone able to get it straight, though, and we're running single file with John Peters out front.
Lap number 3 here at Dover. Miles the Monster already trying to get a little bit of a nibble. You can see the 56 car kind of drifting up there on entry up to that middle groove. Going to slide back down to the bottom and tuck into the tire tracks there of the 09 car of John Peters. Holding on to the lead right now. Pulling away just a little bit, but you see that 56 car, the entry, really, really good. Has that thing sucked right up to the back bumper now of the 09 car. They cross the stripe, and Bollier's there. He's going to take a peek on the outside going into one.
Yeah, he's looking for any kind of groove here to get something going here, and it looks like that outside working really well, and he takes the lead. Didn't even look like it took a ton of effort there to get it away from John Peters, which isn't an easy feat to do. But, you know, Peters might be kind of just settling back there in the second spot to see what he can do. Conserve the tires potentially. We got a pass for third as well. Kenny Kibbe going inside Steven Daddio for the position.
Hey, you said the words during qualifying just before we came on the air here on Verdane TV. The cream rises to the crop. Well, there you see first and second in points. The champ is here, and he's on the podium right now. The 4-car of Kenny Kibbe sliding around the 99 car. Those guys were side by side there for a couple of laps. Daddio in the 99 going to slide on back to fourth. How about the 10 car of Dale Glessner? He's up a couple of spots. He's running in the fifth position.
And Mike Hopkins having a solid run in the sixth spot to begin with. And a little further back, good to see Adam Henry cracking into the top 10 in the number 62 machine, modified regular over at Jennerstown Speedway. And we saw him kind of come along into the NEP late in the season, and he has improved every single race, it seems like. He's doing a good job there in the 10th spot, a good battle behind them. That's Ryan Salvatore getting by Cody LeBlanc for the time being. And we see the Stonks machine, Zane Farrell, marching up through the pack. Stonks are on the rise.
Stonks are on the rise indeed. Cody LeBlanc got a little taste of that wall. Looks like the stock car did as well. He must have been looking over on YouTube because he heard his name and his sponsor. But there you see, got it back up. Scott McDonald in the 44 car. He's following that arrow on his hood. He's trying to get around Reagan Parent and the 17 car. You can see the 17 car struggling with the handling, it looks like, just a little bit. He's still a loose back end just a bit, but he's able to get it back down to the apron. And now he's going to set his sights on that 14 up in front of him. But up front, they're still trying to chase down Bollier, last year's winner here in the championship event at Dover. So you know he's going to try and make it 2 for 2.
Oh, definitely. He has a lot of success here on this track. High Bank Mile Oval, and he continues to run it smooth right now with about a third of a second lead on John Peters. Not letting those drivers get away. Well, he would like to, but it's not going to happen right now, as John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, and Steven Daddio still right there with him. And Boyer drifting a little high there, maybe trying a couple different lines, seeing what works, what doesn't for later in this race. And right now, he continues to lead the way. And we see Kibbe following the 09 in second, but he's going to peek to the outside just a little bit that time, and some side-by-side battles a little further back.
Hey, you can see Hopkins back there side by side with Brent Roy there down on the bottom side. Sliding back just a little bit. U-House going to bring the YRD machine up in there as well. Try and slide in to that position as well. 78 dropping back just a couple of spots, but that's a strong car. All the quarters look straight on it so far, and everything looking A-OK. Marhefka in the 22, he's going to take a peek down low. 78 closes the door. He's going to hold on to that spot now. He's going to try and jump on the offense just a little bit. Pardon me, taking a peek down low on the 3-car.
Yeah, a lot going on right here. About a little, not necessarily mid-pack, but, a little bit more towards the front. A lot going on here so far, as we see Devin Marhefka running in 9th spot, Corey Casagrande running 10th. The leaders, it's still single file there. We've got a battle here as Adam Henry slips back a couple positions. There's the throwback scheme for Corey Casagrande this weekend. in the number 7. He cracks into the top 10 in that machine, and we see Jason Ricker following him through. Ricker, we've seen some flashes of brilliance from him this season, especially earlier in the season. He's looking to finish it off pretty strong.
Biggest mover of the race. There's a pair of them. The Stonks still on the rise. Zane Farrell in the 14 car is up 6 spots, and 2 spots in behind him. Scott McDonald, he's following that arrow. Still, he's also gained 6 spots from where he qualified. They still have a bit of work to do back in 15th and 17th respectively, but cars seem to be handling pretty well as we've got a challenge for the lead. The 09 car, not much of a challenge. Dives on down, takes that position. He's going to try and drift up. There you see, completes the pass on the 56. New leader once again, John Peters, 09 car.
Yeah, great pass there for John Peters. Kenny Kibbe going to try to get by for second as well. And I'm seeing something kind of in common with these drivers that are moving up through the field is those colored wheels. As it seems like that might be worth a 10th this week here at Dover. And we've got our first yellow here on lap 16.
Everybody going to slow on down, catch up with the pace car. We'll take a look at the U-House Race Designs instant replay. Cody LeBlanc getting up into that outside safer barrier, gets a piece of it again, and comes down, tags the inside pit wall, and hits the outside wall once again there. The good news is nobody else got involved, but ill-handling race car there for the 7 of Cody LeBlanc. Looks like he's going to park it down in pit road, maybe try and get the crews out there to get some repairs on it, but may very well be done for the evening here as we work lap number 17 under our very first.
Yeah, Jeff Brown made a very evasive maneuver there on the nearly avoiding LeBlanc, and some faking out going here on pit road, but one of them coming down is Stephen Daddio. Maybe going to use a different pit strategy. That right side is pretty used up on the 99 already, despite running in the top 5. And you'll get that here at this track. Not a very forgiving track, as we saw with LeBlanc hitting both walls. But Reagan Parent coming in, Scott McDonald coming in, maybe some strategy shaping up here. Bobby Shipp, Jeff Brown, all coming in for service. So we'll have to see how this all pans out. Very early in the race, see a lot of cars come down pit road.
It'll give these drivers kind of an opportunity to work on the cars a little bit. You saw the 99, big damage on the side of that car. So get the virtual hammers out, bang on some of the sheet metal. Still early on, have 80 laps once we take the green here or so to kind of work your way back up. Maybe get yourself off sequence just a little bit with the pit stops, with the pit strategy. But you can see it's a good opportunity to come down, and everybody's still on the lead lap, it looks like. 23 cars taking the green flag here this evening. Cody LeBlanc involved in this very first caution. He's going to park it down in the garage area, it looks like. Still 22 cars out on the lead lap. Pretty good so far here at Dover. Yeah,
for sure. And you're going to see if some of these drivers that have been climbing through the field here can make some more maneuvers into the top 10 potentially, like the Stonks car of Zane Farrell. And man, I just hope that at Jennerstown maybe this year that Pro Stock he's running has that scheme. I don't think it will. But Keith Lord's another one. He's qualified in the top 10, but then it seemed like he elected to start in the back. But Keith doing some big things here lately. Was out at Circuit of the Americas spotting this past NASCAR weekend. And he's going to try to use his eyesight here to see a few holes and make a few moves here when we go back to green.
And that's one of the cool things about social media here at Verdane TV. We say it each and every week. We like to kind of bridge the gap between sim racing and real racing. And the NEP series here with iRacing is a really, really good way to do that. You can see, just looking at the field of cars, how many of those paint schemes are real-life paint schemes, which is cool to really kind of see that. Once the iRacing season kind of takes a back burner, real racing starts back up. We get to kind of see on social media where everybody is, whose car they're working on, if they're working on their own car, and what have you. And back to work indeed. Pair champs up front. The 09 car of Peters down in the bottom. This season's champion, Kenny Kibbe, in the number 4 car. Got that championship by firing the race car up and taking the green flag here tonight. The 09 car, he wants to spoil the fun, though. He wants to try and come in here and win this final race of the season.
He's out to a few car lengths there on this restart, but I don't think Kibbe and Boyer, even though they're battling for second right now, they're not going to let him get too far ahead. But right now, we got some things going on here. Mid-pack, Adam Henry near mix-up there, but they all keep going straight, and we keep going here under green, nearing the quarter-way mark as we ride with one of the cars, and I think that was Adam Henry that we were riding with there in the 62. And Keith battles currently with Keith Lord about mid-pack, and yeah, mostly going single file once again. As I say that, here comes Keith Lord to the inside of Adam Henry.
Taking a peek down low and completes the pass as we complete lap number 22, crossing the stripe there. John Peters still up front, a half a second, maybe 0.6 of a second. Over Evan Bollier, who new second place car. Kenny Kibbe back to third. Dale Glessner in fourth. Brent Roy's gained a couple of spots. He's up in the top 5. Side by side action now. The champ wants that second spot back. 4 car going low on Bollier.
Yeah, they're really at it here for that second spot. And Dale Glessner up to fourth now, and he's looking for somewhere to go here. Who's the right car to follow? That's the big question right now. These two battling for second, pretty evenly matched. Dale Glessner's just waiting for one to make a mistake, but with those two drivers, it's going to be tough for either of them to make a mistake. As Brent Roy has now moved into the 5th spot, he's doing a good job. Brandon Newhouse up to 6th. We ride with Glessner now. Ooh, he's going to almost get down on the apron there. That's not a good thing to do here at Dover Speedway with the high banking, and he's able to gather it back up though, and follows Evan Boyer, running Boyer in 3rd, Glessner in 4th.
Going to tuck back into the tire tracks and try and see if he can do a little bit more homework, see if there's another way he can try and get around that 56 car. If Ashidriki was here, he'd be telling us that Highline would be coming in here, working at lap number 25. Speaking of lap 25, shoot on over to Verdane.net in honor of championship weeks here on Verdane TV. Take yourself 25% off at checkout. Use that promo code CHAMP25, CHAMP25, and that's over at Verdane.net. All sorts of brands over there from Verdane TV, Rent a Race Car, Angry Tree Guy, Visual Pollution, Liberty Racing, and much more. How about the racing we're seeing between these two drivers? The 22 car of Marhafka down on the bottom side, and well, the driver that was up on the high side changed up because he got passed by Michael Hopkins, moving himself back up into 7th, and these guys are racing pretty hard for the second half of the top 10.
Yeah, definitely. We rode there with Devin Marhefka, who is up to the 6th spot. Well, I should say was, because here comes Mike Hopkins challenging for position. But the Clarks on the number 22 car, they've actually played a concert at Jennerstown Speedway during the summer the last couple of seasons. So it's not always just the racing entertainment that you have at the racetracks, but sometimes there's some other fun entertainment going on as well. As we see the entertainment going on right now is out on the racetrack, though, as Corey Cosgrande, Brandon Newhouse battling hard for 9th spot. Newhouse, he's stuck there on the outside. It doesn't seem to be working for him as well as it's been working for some of these other competitors.
We're starting to see, we did have a couple of drivers come down pit road under that first caution flag, the only caution flag so far here tonight on a lap number 17. But oh, you can see the 13 getting up into the outside wall just a little bit, going to slide him on back as the 17 is going to take a peek down low. Keith Lord definitely saw that coming. He's going to move himself up just a little bit closer to the top 10, and they're still side by side in behind them, trying to get up into the top 10. And as these tires start to wear, Aaron, you're starting to see these drivers kind of drift up the track and get up with that wall just a little bit more. We're seeing a lot of right side damage.
I didn't know we were at Darlington. We got in a Dover strike for most of these competitors right now, and battle for the lead heating up again. Kenny Kibbe right on the back of John Peters. Evan Bollier slipped back a little bit, about a second back into the 3rd spot, but we could potentially see another lead change. Kenny Kibbe, he's the champ, or now officially the champ, but he still only has 2 wins this year. He wants to pick up that 3rd one, so and two consecutive too, to lead it into the next season of NEP racing. So right now he's drifted back just a little bit as we see some of the lap times that some of these competitors have run so far in this race, as lap times about a second off what they were some of their best times. John Peters running about a 24.6 at the moment, and Kibbe about a 24.7. So once again, we might see some pit stops come into play a little bit later, and there you see the intervals. It's kind of swapped back and forth in recent time.
Yeah, that's a couple of drivers that are evenly matched here at Dover, and they both want to win. They've both got themselves at least one championship now, with Kibbe locking in, firing up the motor at the start of this race. Peter's the only driver to win a championship so far in the 3 seasons of NEP. So you can see those two drivers have a lot of respect for each other. Very clean racers, very smart racers here as well. You can see Kibbe sliding back just a little bit. Oh, he gets up into the outside wall. I was going to say, maybe he's trying to save the tires just a little bit, but I don't know. There's a little bit of damage on the right side of that 4 car.
When you white wall those tires, that's not a good thing necessarily. And further back, we got another intense battle. Devin Marhefka and Mike Hopkins still at it here for the 6th position. The number 78 looking to the inside once again. As wow, neither are giving an inch, and now we have Hopkins getting into the inside wall there just a tad. That was an interesting. We saw it on board there, and I think there might have been a little bit of contact there from the looks of it. And Hopkins is able to gather it back up and currently runs an 8.
Thanks for the ride, Mike Hopkins. 78 car slides back a little bit, going to gather his thoughts. Good thing there, no caution, no damage on that 78 car. He's going to keep on hammering on. Corey Casagrande in behind him, having himself a relatively uneventful top 10 run. Car looks clean, little side-by-side in behind him, the 99 car Daddio. How about this? He came down pit road, one of the first cars to come down pit road, get some tires, worked on that damage just a little bit, but he's got 15, 16 lap fresher tires than everybody else in the field, and you can see he's putting them to work. He's going to try and get around Keith Lord in the 17 car, completes the pass, moves that 99 car back into the top 10.
How about that indeed for Stephen Daddio? Great job by him in the number 99, and he's marching to the front. We've seen him place the strategy game a little bit a couple times this year, and it's resulted in some wins and top 5 finishes. And I mean, he's a top 5 driver right from the get-go anyways. So, and he's looking to lock up. I think he might have locked up second in points here, but we'll have to see what the final tally is once we get to post-race. But yeah, right now, Daddio hunting down the number 7 at Corey Casagrande. Mid-pack, we see some side-by-side battles continue on. Ryan Salvatore and Regan Parent battling. Parent's trying to move up through the field and trying to challenge Boyer for that 3rd in points. He was our early point leader this season. Had a couple wins early in the season. But Regan Parent, he slipped a little bit here in recent time, but continues to hold his own out there in his first full season of NEP. I guess you could call him our NEP Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and Parent in a close battle for points for that 3rd position between himself and Boyer. They came in 4 points separating them, and right now that position would go to Boyer up in the top 3. You can see the 3 cars, speaking of which, getting attacked by the 13. Brennan Marhefka going to take a peek down low. He's going to complete the pass. Look at the right side of that car. Whole bunch of black marks on that as well. Miles the Monster chewing these things up. I guess he doesn't like Oreos, though. That 3 car looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact there. Whoa, we got Salvatore getting pretty close to the wall there. Where's that Marhefka? That's Mr. Marhefka there in 13. Getting pretty close to the wall. And we see he's gotten into the wall a couple times too. Back up into the top 5. Dale Glessner and Brent Roy battling. Brent Roy looking for another win. And I think Dale Glessner's still looking for that first NEP win in his 2nd season. They're currently battling hard there for the 4th spot. Devin Marhefka catching them in 6th. Brent Roy's easing his way into the corner there a little bit better than Glessner, and trying to find a way by to take that 4th spot.
It's crazy to see some of these onboard shots hard onto the gas, but didn't really have anywhere to go because the back bumper of the 10 car was there. You can see on the front of the Camry Kids number 26 car, a little bit of an indentation, I guess you could call it, in that right front fender, and he's going to take a peek down low on that 10 car once again. 10 all the way up into the outside wall, but as these drivers get into the corners, you can hear them really burping the throttle, laying off a whole lot, really feathering it, trying to get back on because there's no grip with 44 lap old tires, and that's going to be a good opportunity for that 99 car to move on up with those fresh tires. He's gotten another spot here in the past couple of laps up to 9th, but has a little bit of ways to go. There you can see there's a big gap in that top 10. Ooh, the 26 car up to the outside wall. The 22, he's going to try and take advantage. He kicks that door down. Now he's going to try and take that momentum all the way around the 10 car. He's going to try and break himself into the top 10.
Great move by Devin Marhefka there for sure in the number 22, a past winner in NEP, and his brother Brandon Marhefka took a win this year too. Dale Glessner really has a handful with that number 10 now, as they're all going to freight train right by him at the moment. Not so fast. He's fighting back with Hopkins there. But we're nearing the halfway point, and that could mean that we might see only one pit stop, depending on how the yellow flags, if there are any, continue to fall here before the race is over. Might see some green flag pit stops, which will play into drivers like Steven Daddio's hands. But then, of course, he'll be on older tires. So at that point. So we'll see how these things continue to shake out. John Peters continuing the lead. He's got an over 2-second lead now on Kenny Kibbe. They're catching a couple drivers to put them a lap down. They've already put Brian Shipp a lap down. And that's one of the more intense battles that we got going on in the points for, I think it's 16th in points. Brian and Bobby Shipp battling closely for that spot in the final point standings. You know, the bragging rights are strong within that family, I'm sure. Jeff Brown also losing a lap there in the number 27.
Oh, absolutely. Racing, whether it's real racing or sim racing, is a super, super competitive sport, especially when you're going against somebody with the same last name. And you can see Peters taking off, 3-second lead now over these two drivers back in second. Kenny Kibbe locking himself into the championship. He's going to carry that throughout the offseason here in the iRacing world. Evan Bollier right in behind him. Those guys have swapped that second and third position back a handful of times. The 4-car up into the outside wall, going to lose a little bit of momentum. And you can see he's just going to jump right back down to the bottom side, try and cross over the 56 once again. Not quite enough momentum, though. Going to tuck into the tire tracks, go back to work, and see if he can find another way around as we approach the halfway mark.
They're slipping and sliding for sure. And Kenny Kibbe, he's had enough. He's coming to pit road here at the halfway point and going to come in for, I am sure, 4 fresh tires on that number 4 machine. And he's got really nothing to lose since he's locked up that championship. So why not kind of roll the dice here and come in early and see how that plays out. Brian Shipp also coming down. John Peters coming in the next time by. And also Evan Bollier is going to come as they get on the brakes pretty hard there coming down pit road. Devin Marhefka is going to stay out and will lead this lap in the number 22 machine. And lots going on here. A lot of cars now are takers onto pit road.
Green flag pit stops here at the halfway marker. These drivers figure if you can make it 50 laps on a tank of fuel and some tires, well, you can make the other 50 as well. Half the field coming down pit road here this time by Devin Marhefka. Still out on track. We may see that 22 car try and stay out and stretch this out just a little bit, maybe catch himself a caution. John Miller going to give up a top 5 spot. He's going to come down pit road. But Mike Hopkins currently in second. Steve Daddio running in third. Brandon Marhefka, Reagan Parent up in the top 5. Scott McDonald, Corey Casagrande, and Bobby Shipp, the only drivers that have not come down pit road yet. So differing strategies here. What these guys may do is try and stretch it out. Steven Daddio going to give up. Oh, Steven Daddio into the pit wall entry. Oh, it looks like he hit the barriers there. It definitely came close, but big trouble for the 99.
Yeah, it can get a bit hairy coming down to that pit road, and I'm kind of surprised Daddio's coming in now. I was thinking he might try to stretch it a little bit more and hope for a yellow where we wouldn't have that many cars on the lead lap, and Mike Hopkins really has to smoke it coming down pit road.
There goes that
I don't know
run.
If he got it rode down. Yeah, I don't know if he got it rode down quick enough. We'll see. We'll have to see how that all works out. But a couple drivers continuing to stay out. Devin Marhefka, that got a little crazy there, trying to get by Jeff Brown there in the 27. Got a Marhefka 1-2 right now. Regan Parent, he's one of the drivers that has not pitted. He runs in third. Bobby Shipp, I believe. Regan Parent is one of the drivers that has pitted. And also Bobby Shipp. And we got the Marhefkas on pit road.
Yeah, try and keep up with all that. Holy cow. Reagan Parent being scored the leader. He came down, I believe, on that lap 16 caution. So he's got a few more laps that he can kind of stretch this thing out. Bobby Ship, Corey Casagrande are the other two drivers still out. Oh, Bobby Ship hard into the outside wall in that 04 car. Gathers it back up. A big-time damage on the right side of the 04. It looks like he's still going to try and maybe stay out for at least another lap and see how that thing handles and maybe try and stretch this thing out just a little bit. First car off of pit road that's going to gather. Oh, you can see another car parrot up into the outside wall as well. The 09 car going to go down up below the leader, get his lap back the hard way. And you can see Reagan Parent starting to struggle big time with that 17 car's handling.
Yeah, and I bet Parent was kind of hoping that Bobby Ship would maybe spin out there and bring out the yellow when he got into the wall. Because right now, there's only 4 cars on the lead lap. There would have only been 3 if the yellow had come out. And then, of course, Peters would have been the first car lap down, gotten back on the lead lap anyway. And we might have seen some wave arounds and whatnot, too. But that's not what we're going to see. We're still under green here, going more than 40 laps without a yellow flag. And everyone's still, even the ones on fresh tires. Well, I should have said that Corey Casagrande is actually not on fresh tires. As Bobby Ship now coming into the pits, kind of. He's going to spin coming down pit road. Let's see if he gets it straightened out. And we're going to stay under green. He's going to get it back underway. He's going to lose a lot of time, though. And that's going to allow his brother, Brian Ship, to catch up to him on the track. And right now, though, Reagan Parent still out there. And I'm sure he was begging for a yellow flag right there. But he's not going to get it. And we're continuing out there. As you can see the lap times, he's a good 2.5 seconds slower than John Peters.
Yeah, there's a 12-second gap between Reagan Parent in the 17, Corey Casagrande in second. Looks like Corey's even slower in that 7 car. John Peters is really starting to close the gap. He's 19 seconds on back, but when you're 2.5 seconds off the pace, there was a little bit better, about 1.5 seconds still off the pace on those older tires. That 17 car hoping for a caution. 7 car gives up. Corey Casagrande, give me some tires, can bang out some of this sheet metal. I need to go a little bit quicker. The 17 car, the lone driver out there still trying to hold on, maybe wait for a caution. You see the 78 car of Mike Hopkins going to move on down around and unlap himself once. That 78 car definitely got himself a speeding penalty, currently scored in the 21st spot. So going out to get some laps and maybe cool off just a little bit. But Reagan Parent, he's holding on to it. 16.5 seconds right now is the gap between he and Peters, but that 09 car is coming in a hurry.
Yeah, I think Reagan Parent's only got about 4 or 5 more laps that he can stay out here. I mean, you got Jeff Brown unlapping himself once on the 17 car. So, yeah, you see Reagan Parent, he's just holding on for dear life, begging for a yellow flag, which doesn't look like we're going to see. Good to play the strategy just in case something happens. He might be the yellow before too long, and that wouldn't be good for the 117. But now you see some of these drivers continuing to unlap themselves now as he continues to have a handful there, just trying to stay out there in the 117 machine. You see Dale Glessner, Keith Lord, all going by right now. All drivers inside the top 10 at the moment. And right now, the lead is down to about 12 seconds. It probably will be next time by. I think we're going to see that 117 come in here in a few laps.
Mathematically, he can make it in maybe another 5, 6, maybe even 7 laps on fuel. But how much time do you really want to try and give up? The only saving grace is if he can go maybe 7, 8 more laps, 6 laps, kind of stretch it out, come down pit road. If we did get a caution at that point, if the 17's not the caution, up into the outside wall once again. But if we get a caution here in maybe 6 or 7 laps, everybody else is going to want to come down and get those fresh tires too. So at this point, you really got to stick to it. You really got to hope the gamble pays off. But it's back to 10 seconds there. John Peters coming in a hurry.
You know what, though? If this race continues to stay green until the end, Reagan Parent's going to have fresher tires. So that's another way it could play out. He could start making up positions when he comes down, but you know, with all the track position he's losing right now, he's going to probably fall a lap down. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up. So even under green, that's going to be tough. Under yellow, it's going to be tough. So right now, it's kind of a lose-lose situation almost for the 117. But you never know what can happen if we have several yellows, like you said. some of these other guys are going to take advantage of coming in for fresh rubber as well. So, yeah, a lot going on here. Regan Parent still leading the way, but it's down to 7 seconds now as there's Steven Daddio. He's up into fifth. I don't know if Daddio has another set of tires, though. I can't remember what he came in for during that first pit stop. I know it was some kind of service for the 99 during that first yellow. And then he came in when everyone else was coming in. So not sure what he has for the rest, if he's played all his cards for the rest of the race or not. But right now he's running solidly in the fifth spot.
Parent, Peters, Kibbe, Bollier, and Daddio, the top 5 as they run. Brent Roy holding on to the 6th spot. Glessner, Devin Marhefka, Keith Lord, Ryan Salvatore, the current top 10. And for the most part, everybody's done with pit stops except for that 17 car, the current leader, and he is in some heavy lap traffic. And this can get frustrating because he's on older lap tires here as we work lap number 69. A nice 17 Mustang. He wants to try and get around these slower lap cars, but he doesn't quite have the car to do that because he's got older tires. It's getting to be almost 50 laps that he's been on that run. 52 laps now in the 17 car. He's just holding on and really, really hoping for a caution here. But that 09 car is closing the gap in a big way. You can see just got around the Stonks ride, the 14 car of Zane Farrell. It's down to 2 seconds, and you know that 09 car is smelling blood and the water. He can see the leader. There you see him struggling with the handling of that car, trying to get through this lap traffic. The 09 car, this almost looks like that scene in Days of Thunder where he's just closing up on the cars that are wrecking. These guys aren't wrecking, but just that 09 car, bad fast here at the Monster Mile.
He's dropping the hammer, Harry, so... John Peters definitely on the move here now within a second of Regan Parent. And the other problem that's going to come into play for Regan Parent potentially is with all these cars going to the inside of him and he needs to come to pit road, how's he going to get to pit road without causing any kind of trouble? So he's going to need to find a comfortable spot to even come down into the pits if he chooses to here. But John Peters, it's going to be a pretty easy pass right here on the backstretch. John Peters to the inside in the number 09 and gets right by Regan Parent there for the top spot. Parent, the winner earlier in this season. I think at the opener at Daytona was going to try to bookend it with some wins, but it's not looking good for the 117. Kenny Kibbe going by for second spot.
It was just a little bit of a tap there from the 14 of Zane Farrell. Quick 14 car trying to get his lap back the hard way and get up around the 09 car of Peters. But 17 back into third. You can see up, gives the outside wall one more kiss, and he's going to try and hold on for just a few more laps. A little side-by-side action. Evan Bollier, the 4th place car in the 56. He's going to go down low. The 48 Chip Ride is a lap down back in 19th, but still relatively quick, able to get up there and do a little side-by-side duo there with the 56 car. Daddio still holding on to 5th right now. Has a little bit of damage on both sides of the car, some scuff marks, everything else looking A-OK. Little Devin Marhefka action there in 6th. Brent Roy back in 7th. Dale Glessner back here doing a little battle with Keith Lord for the 8th and 9th positions. And Ryan Salvatore in the 12 car holding on to that 10th spot. It looks like somebody tried to bump draft the ever-loving snot out of the back of the 12 car. Big-time damage for Salvatore, but doesn't look like it's affecting the handling too much. The 12 car holding on to the top 10.
Nah, it's running good. He's in the 10th spot, having a great run in the RSL TV, our stat guy, and always providing us with the statistics, the points, the practice results, and everything coming into each race so that we can tell you about these competitors without making us sound a little smarter, right? We're now at the 3/4 mark. Regan Parent is still out there in the 4th spot, just hanging on right now in the 117. So, and I'm just surprised that he's been able to stay out here this whole time and just waiting patiently for a potential yellow. I don't think it's coming, though. I don't want to jinx it, but we've had a long green flag run, probably one of our longest green flag runs of the entire season, as we see now Steven Daddio approaching the 117. He's going to move by for 4th. And now Jason Ricker, who is actually a lap down or 2. No, he's 1 lap down in the 16th spot. Not sure what happened there, as he was running in the top 10 earlier. But he's going to try to make up some positions, maybe eventually get into that first car lap down position. He's got a couple spots to make up in order for that to happen right now. Brandon Newhouse, the first car lap down in the 13th spot. So yeah, only 12 cars on the lead lap, and a couple more are in danger of going a lap down. And there's Reggie Beefstick Parent continuing to try to hold on.
You can hear just how slow he's got to be going into the corners, really having to feather the throttle coming off to make sure he doesn't slide that back end around. But he slid that back end around a couple of times. It actually sounds like he's got a flat tire, and he's going to come down pit road finally in the 17 car. Gamble didn't quite pay off. 17 final car to come down pit road. It's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do with fresh tires.
Yeah, I think he's lost way too much track position. He's going to be at least one lap down by the time this is over. And there's the one lap that he's losing already, and it could be 2 laps down, and that's kind of game over at that point. He made a good run there to try to. He's in the middle of the points race, trying to get third in the standings, be on that season-ending podium at our NEP banquet, but it's not looking good. Evan Boyer running in second spot. He's been able to get by Kenny Kibbe, even though they're 5 seconds behind the leader, John Peters.
17 car back off pit road. Looks like he's going to rejoin the field in 17th, at least 2 laps down as the 22 car goes, or the 13 car rather, goes down a lap. 10 cars left on the lead lap. That John Peters machine, the 09 car, showing why it is he's got himself 3 championships here in this series, holding on to a commanding lead, 5.1 seconds over Evan Boyer there in the second position. 56 car holding on to that second spot, but man, oh man, the champ is here. Champ's up into the outside wall again, getting a little bit more of a scuff mark on there. He's going to lose a little bit of that position from the 56 car, but he's still right in his tire tracks, and these two guys have been swapping this spot back all race long here with 18 laps to go. Not sure which one of them is going to come out on top, but man, oh man, what a way to try and close off this season. Daddio just a little bit further on back, has gained himself another spot back up into the 4th position. A 22 car, 7 spots gained here on the evening. He's holding on to 5th.
Yeah, and there's Regan Parent flying right by him on those fresher tires. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as these laps continue to wind down. These guys, the leaders, are all slipping and sliding now, and we remain under green. I don't think we're going to see any more pit stops unless there's some kinds of acts of desperation. There was that was a bit of a slide there for Devin Marhefka machine, and or is that Regan Parent here approaching everyone quickly? We got a lot going on. Wow. Look how fast they were able to approach these competitors. That is Reggie Parent there in the 117. He's just breezing by these competitors, but once again, 2 laps down. We might see him get back 1 lap, but that's about it, I think, with only 15 laps remaining. Bobby Shipp he's on the struggle bus a little bit. He was actually behind Brian Shipp. Now he's ahead of Brian Shipp. So, and now that battle between the Shipp brothers continues for 20th. So Bobby's got his car a little bit mangled here, and he's coming back down pit road. And I think this is going to allow Brian Shipp to get back by for 20th.
Yeah, big time trouble for the 04 car. A couple of incidents here this evening. The 09 car, though, on rails, up to a 6-second lead over Evan Boyer. Kenny Kibbe, the champ, right in behind there in 3rd as well. Daddio Marhefka. Brent Roy outside the top 5 in 6th. Keith Lord in that 17 car holding on to 7th. Ryan Salvatore, 1 more spot gained in 8th. Dale Glessner, John Miller rounding out the top 10. How about the 6th car? 12 spots gained so far. Biggest mover of the night, John Miller in the 6th.
Yeah, he had a solid run to begin the season at Daytona, and a couple races. He's in the top 5 in the standings early on. So he's trying to end it strong, just kind of like how he began. You always see him end up missing a couple races mid-season, it seems like. But he's having a solid top 10 run. Now he's challenging Dale Glessner for 9th, 1 lap down. 8 cars on the lead lap. John Peters just setting a torrid pace as we are going to start nearing the 10-lap to go mark.
It's almost as if John Peters wants to put a cap on this season. 11 races or 11 laps to go in the race, 11 laps to go in the season. He wants to put a cap in this one and says, hey, you know what? This is what we're going to call the drive for season 5. Wants to come back next season and really claim that championship trophy. And maybe that's what's going through his head. And he might just want to be out there and win some races. Ooh, a little bit of close quarter contact almost between the 6 and the 48. They keep it straight, though, and keep it pointed in the right direction. We stay clean and green with 10 laps to go.
I am quite shocked that we have not only seen one yellow, how much these cars are slipping and sliding around. Everyone doing an excellent job keeping their cars straight and keeping on going despite the crazy conditions here on the concrete at Dover Speedway here in Delaware. And John Peters, though, he has just been smooth. We haven't really seen him slip up much. You see the right side of his car compared to some of these other competitors. You hardly see a mark on the side of the 09. He's got this place figured out, especially this evening. And he's just got now coming to 8 more circuits to get it done here in the 09 car.
Yeah, has himself a comfortable cushion in behind. 7 seconds now, the gap back to Bollier. Last few seasons winner in that 56 car. Kibbe, this year's season champion, holding on to third right now. And you can see a little bit of lap traffic up in front of the 09 car, but you don't really want to slow your pace too much. We've seen here on Verdane TV, heck, we've even seen here in NEP where some of these drivers, they'll get that great big comfortable lead, they'll start to slow down, and that's different than what they've done all race long, so they miss their marks a little bit, start making mistakes. Very rarely do we see the 09 car of John Peters make mistakes, but you can see that lap traffic up in front of him getting a little bit bigger in that windshield with 6 laps to go here once we cross the stripe. Might be a little bit of a factor, but it's good to look into the rearview mirror and have to look all the way back to that second place car.
Well, that's the thing about Dover, though, is this closing rate here is just so quick. As you can see, once he approaches some of these lap cars, and also, like you said, if he kind of slows the pace down a little bit, next thing you know, that Bollier and Kibbe will be closing in on him. They're not going to hold back, and right now, Peters closing in on the 8th place car of Keith Lord to attempt to put him a lap down. Lord not really given an inch here in the 17. Peters has to kind of back off there and wait until off of the turn and onto the backstretch to make the pass. Inside 5 laps to go. He's not even able to complete the pass until we get through turns 3 and 4 here. And he finally does. And John Miller just following Peters here as we go by, and this could be a story if it went another 50 laps on these tires or in this race. You can see Peters lapping the field and Peters and Miller following himself into an even better position. But we only have 4 to go. I think you're not going to see Miller able to pick up any more spots before this day is done, although Ryan Salvatore is not too far ahead. We're going to see if he can stay on the lead lap. There's Regan Parrott coming into the picture. He's going to try to get back to just 1 lap down and pick up a couple spots. That strategy, unfortunately, did not work out for him. He's working his way under John Miller. He's probably going to get by John Peters by the time this race is over, but it's not going to. Well, that didn't work out in his favor there. As soon as I said that. So Peters right now with almost a clear track. He's got Corey Casagrande ahead of him inside 2 laps to go.
Yeah, still side by side between the 6 and the 17. Battle between a couple of lap cars, but up front it is the 3-time reigning series champion, the 09 car. He wasn't able to get himself into championship contention this year, so he's going to come into the final race of the season, the Shift Championship 100 here at Dover. He's going to punch Miles the Monster right in the mouth and come home with a great big trophy as long as he can get through turns 3 and 4 one final time. There you see it, nice and easy Sunday drive, Thursday night drive down to the bottom side of the racetrack out of turn number 4. Barney in the flag stand says, hey, we got ourselves a race winner. The 09 car of John Peters coming home with the victory here in the final race of the season. Evan Bollier, last season's winner here in the final race, going to cross the stripe in second. And there you see it. The champ is here, and the champ is in that 3rd spot. We're going to talk to those top 3 drivers here in the Turn 4 podcast post-race show coming up in just a moment's time. We'll take a look at the unofficial results here as well. But man, oh man, Aaron, this was a pretty clean race, entertaining race all the way throughout with all the different strategies we saw.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of passing going on and a lot of slipping and sliding despite the lack of yellow flags. A great 100 lap race to end the NEP season. John Peters going to victory lane, and a lot of great runs to close out the season, give themselves some momentum into 2023 and 2024 when we go back racing again. I don't really want to think of the colder weather again, but yeah, good run for John Peters, Evan Boyer, Kenny Kibbe, Stephen Daddio, and Devin Marhefka. How about Ryan Salvatore rounding out the lead lap cars in sixth?
Yeah, having himself a solid run in that 12 car to close out the season. The Camry kid, the 26 ride, going to be finishing off in seventh. John Miller, solid run for that 6 car. Another 10 laps or so. I think we might have seen that 6 move up just a little bit. He was coming in a hurry. Keith Lord in the 9th position. Brandon Marhefka going to round out the top 10. Brandon Newhouse, Dale Glessner, Zane Farrell, Scott McDonald, and Jason Ricker, the top 15.
Yeah, Reggie Parent ends up in 16th in the final order, 2 laps behind. He tried to make it happen, but unfortunately it didn't work out. And Corey Casagrande, Mike Hopkins had a good run going, but had the pit road penalty. Adam Henry was in the top 10 early. Jeff Brown rounds out the top 20 in his final race of the season. The Ship brothers, it was Bobby topping Brian Ship for 21st, and Cody LeBlanc was out early in 23rd.
And there you see the 09 car going to park that thing up on the front straightaway, and then he's going to light the tires up. It's cool with the Vidane TV slow motion U-House Race Designs instant replay. It's always kind of fun to see what kind of tricks this guy's going to throw on out there. Couldn't come home with the Season 4 championship, so he went out the last race of the season, won the race, and almost lapped the entire field. John Peters, how we doing tonight, man?
Showtime, what's happening? Is fun race track. I love coming to these tracks that are wore out and you really have to manage tires and really drive the race cars for the full race. And I feel like finally a race at Dover played out that fit my strategy. I think we've come here 3 times before, and for whatever reason we get these odd cautions and tire strategy gets mixed up, and it seems like I've never been able to really do this and get a win here. But it was a lot of fun for me. Congrats to Kenny on the championship. He did a real good job all year long. Solid night for us overall as a team, with Evan finishing second. We had a couple more guys in the top 10, so just a good way to close it out. I didn't quite have the season I was looking for and wasn't consistent enough to have a shot there towards the end and missed too many races, but that's okay. It was fun. We'll try to do it again next season.
We made that joke about midway. John Peters wanting to put a cap on this season as quickly as he can to set the focus on to season 5 here with NEP. It's going to be a whole lot of fun coming up next fall and winter to see who's going to come out with that championship. And we got a little bit of downtime. It's not really downtime. It's just getting warmer outside. We got some real racing stuff going on. Which tracks are we going to see at come this spring, this summer?
Good question. I hung my real suit up for the foreseeable future, so I won't be behind the wheel probably at all this season, but I'll find myself at some racetracks. I went to Hickory a couple weeks ago for the past races there, and turned into a race fan, so I really got to watch everybody and judge all the things they do, which is pretty fun. So I feel like you guys, I can sit back with the best view and watch things happen, which is always fun. So I'll probably try to do some of that this summer, some tracks down here in North Carolina, and who knows where my travels will take me, but we'll try to get plenty of racing in regardless, and then look forward to doing this again in the fall. This is a great way to pass the time through the winter and get back into real stuff.
Looks like the 17 car might owe you a virtual motor here. There's lots of logos on that 09 car. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack here, John?
Thanks to NEP and Shift for putting all this together. Thanks to Vidane for taking us to the masses all year long. Love talking to you guys after these races. Thanks to G&G's Gift and everybody who supports that. It's an honor for me to put that on the car all season. Thanks to my mom and everybody who watches us each and every week, even when we look like a bunch of complete idiots. Appreciate that. Thanks to my fiance for letting me do this every week on Thursday nights. I really appreciate it. My 2 dogs who have no choice but to sit here and look at me. And then just everybody who supports the league. Shout out to our 229 teammates. Congrats again to Kenny on the championship. And we'll see you guys next time.
3-time season champion gets himself another check in that W column. John Peters and the '09 car winning the series finale here at Dover. And speaking of champs, Aaron, you've caught up with the new hashtag and new champion of NEP. You're down there with the 4 car. I think it looks like it's his turn. We're going to watch a little slow motion burnout action.
Yeah, congratulations, Kenny Kibbe. We'll talk about the race in just a moment, but first off, great season from start to finish, very consistent, and I'm sure that's what made the difference. How does it feel to be the NEP Season 4 champion?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, to be the first champion not named John Peters in this league's pretty cool, and yeah, we just had to be consistent all year. And we didn't win a whole lot of races, but really it was a lot of parity this year in general anyway. So happy that we, got the wins that we got, and, we didn't have any subs get our wins for us. And we just showed up every week and ran really good races, and felt good coming into the year. We just had to continue to put on good runs, and we were able to do that. And that actually puts us clean sweep now. That's NEP Endurance Championships both seasons, Super Truck Championship, and this is now mine. So I've swept them all.
Yeah, kind of the hat trick, I guess you could say. And but yeah, from beginning to end, it seemed like you were practically every race were in contention, including here at Dover. What ended up being the difference, though, across the 100-lap distance there? You're able to come away with a third-place finish. I'm sure you still wanted to do a couple positions better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I must have been just pushing the tires just a little bit too hard because I had really good short run speed, and but I think I really wish that you could drive off the right rear more on this setup. The setup was just full on tight and didn't really fit my style. So the right front was bound to kind of burn off, and I was just burning mine a little quicker than some of the other drivers. So that kind of prevented me from being up there at the end. If we would have gotten a late caution or a short run at the end, that would have made things a little more interesting, because I felt like we had really, really good pace on the restarts, but didn't happen that way. But I'm all for green flag racing. I'm not complaining about that.
So where might we see you at a racetrack, perhaps up in Michigan sometime this summer?
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I don't do the racing in the real life, but I'm constantly going to different racetracks. Berlin Raceway is my home track, so I'll be going there. I'll be going there for SRX this year, so that'll be cool. And then we got Thunderbird Raceway and Winston Raceway for the dirt tracks that are around me. Bound to go to them once or twice. So that should be fun, and I'll still be doing some occasional iRacing. It'll slow down through the summer, but I like to run NIS every week, and next year I'm hoping to get a little closer to Road to Pro. So we got some things in the works.
Cool deal. And before we go, give you a chance to give a shout out to all those names and supporters that are on your race car.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody at NEP, at Shift Marketing and Design for letting me come and race with the NEP boys every week. Again, congrats to John Peters on the win and his championships. He's been a great champion. And you guys have been TV for all the broadcasts every week. And a big shout out to my teammates at Four Wide Weaponry. We swept third, fourth, fifth, and sixth tonight, and they were a heck of a lot of fun to race with every week. So that was cool. And a shout out to everybody that rides on board with me every week.
All right, that's your third place finisher here at Dover and your new champion in the NEP Racing Shift Marketing and Design series, Kenny Kibbe. And I think we got one more interview to come, Paul.
Indeed, we do. Second place finisher, Durham Maine's own Evan Bollier. Last year's winner came home, started on the pole, finished in second, held on to the third spot in the points position. Not quite a win, but definitely a little bit of bragging rights, I think, to cap off the season.
Yeah, we had a decent run here tonight. John, it's pretty remarkable to see him save the tires, really. Just when I think I was doing a good job saving, he's going by and driving away. He does a really good job with it, and he doesn't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just runs his own race, and I'm a victim of that sometimes. I I tend to try to hold track position more than I should at points during this race, so I can definitely learn from that. But yeah, we had a fast 56 Chevrolet tonight, and good to round out the season with a runner-up finish, 22912. I'll take it, and it's been a fun season with you guys.
Picking them up and putting them down for sure. Where are we going to see the 56 car in the iRacing quote unquote off season? Maybe at some real racetracks this year.
Yeah, we're gonna hit up the real racetracks now. That's the sure sign of real racing coming around the corner when the NEP season's over. We got our first race at Star Speedway in about a little over a month. It seems crazy to think that we're already here, but the car's in the shop, just about ready to go. Looking forward to racing there. We'll be running at Lee USA Speedway full time, as much as we can and elsewhere. Oxford, Wiscasset. We'll hit up another race at Star. Hopefully Speedway 95, but I also got a little family now too. I'm really excited to bring my daughter to the track, and that's going to change a lot of things for us time-wise, but I'm really looking forward to having her there and getting to experience it with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a cool mix of having the family and the racing kind of gel together like that, and it's
right. I'm pretty lucky I get to do both. I'm very, very fortunate.
100%, and I think it's been about 15 years since I've been to Star or Lee, so maybe I'll make the trip.
You got to make the trip out there. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, and come say hi.
Absolutely, we'll bring a couple of hats and T-shirts, maybe a couple of
Excellent.
stickers too.
Oh, I'll rep it. Excellent.
100%. Got to give you that last opportunity. Anybody else out there watching who gets you to and from the virtual and the real racetrack for the 56?
Yeah, I got to thank, obviously, my family, my wife. She's on the floor right now with Millie playing with her, getting ready to go to bed here. So appreciate her letting me do this on Thursday nights. And obviously my whole family, they all support us so much. And Derek was watching, my longest time crew member. He was here watching tonight. And then obviously all my sponsors, Hancock Lumber, Sunday Morning Farm, Brett Davis Real Estate. We got a new sponsor that we just signed this week, Cloud MIS out of Brunswick, Maine. We got them on the car. Really excited to have them on board. Nitro Designs, LB Cleaning Company, Laverier Auto Detailing. Got to take a shout out to Guy and Barb, and we got JPS, K&B Automotive, EJ Drywall. Man, I'm Winter Pit Products, my boy Dan. I'm just so fortunate to have so many great partners on our race team that really make it happen for us, because we don't come from money. It's hard to get into the sport without money, and without their support, I wouldn't be able to do this every week. So I really got to thank them, and obviously all my great teammates, 229 Autosport. We'll have a fun year racing in the summer and come back ready to do some more next winter.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the social media post to kind of bridge that gap between the sim racing season and the post or the real racing season.
Excellent, man. Hey, you guys got to get to the track, and we'll have a beer after the race, all right? And thanks to Vidane for everything that you guys have done for us, really publicizing our series that we do here. It's just for fun for us in the wintertime, but it's really cool that people are able to engage with us during the off season.
Always cool to entertain the masses. The 09 car's still parked out there with a blown motor. Someone's gonna have to go pick that thing up at the start finish line. He just Josh Williamed everybody down there. But we're gonna take one more little gander down pit road, Aaron. I think we got one more guy hanging out. Steve Daddio finished fourth. Gonna cap off the season with that second spot in the points. You've got up with the 99 driver.
Yeah, Steve Daddio, a strong second half of this season, and we saw you in victory lane earlier in the season. And, first off, we'll talk about Dover, capping it off with the top 5 finish. How does that feel? And looked like you were playing the strategy game there early on. It didn't entirely pan out, though.
No, yeah, I hit the wall early, and I don't know. I mean, I had some points to play with, so I repaired the damage, didn't take tires, and kind of wanted to see how the cautions fell. And I don't even think we got any, or maybe we got one, but it didn't fall my in my favor. So it was a good run. I mean, Dover seems to be my track. I'm curious to see what the average lap times were, because I felt really good on the long run. I think if I had a better track position, I didn't really handicap myself there, I think I would have gave it a run for the finish. It was good last year. I was on Evans' bumper, kind of pushing him across the line, but no luck. I mean, we ran good, but we didn't get the bounces we need at the end of the year. But kind of hard to complain about P2 and the point standings. It was a good year. I had a lot of fun, like racing with these guys.
Yeah, and that's a career best for you here in the NEP 4 seasons, I believe, and second place in points. I'm sure you got to be pretty satisfied with that and with the momentum you've had the second half of the season, especially going into next season.
Yeah, these cars fit me. I feel like I run well in this style of car, and the tracks. If I could just figure out the short tracks and get a little bit of luck on the super speedways, I feel like I'm always up front, and then something happens at the end. Maybe it would have went a little differently. Could have gave Kibby a little push there, but like I said, it feels pretty good to come out P2, especially with the caliber of the guys that we're running in this series. It's a lot of respect given for most everybody. There's a couple of guys out there I like to have a little fun, but a lot of fun running up front with Kenny, Evan, John, Devin, Sal, the 229 guys. I feel like 4 Wide and 229's got a little bit of a rivalry going, so it's always good to mix it up with them. But it always feels clean to me, and I look forward to this every Thursday night. I look forward to it, but my fans do too. We get to talk about it on Fridays and stuff. So it keeps people engaged over the winter. I wish I had a car to run in the summertime, keep it going, but I think those days are over. So I like to hang out here with you guys. Appreciate the calls every night as well too.
But I'm sure we might see you hanging out at a track in New England or elsewhere over the summer, I'm sure.
Yeah, Stafford is my home track, and I had success there years ago, and I had an opportunity last summer to jump into a car, but unfortunately broke in practice after we spent 2 months setting it up. So that was my one shot, and it kind of got washed in practice there. So who knows? Maybe I'll take another shot at it, maybe redeem myself, but you never know.
Yeah, and who helps you get it done here in the NEP?
It's always Daddy-O's Auto Parts. My father. He's been my number one supporter. Whole family, I should say, but his his store's on the car, and then Reverie Brewing, really cool venture out there in Newtown, Connecticut. Buddy just kind of jumped out and said, "I'm going to start a brewery," and started making really good beer, and people love it. And if you're in the area, stop by. It's worth the visit. My teammates at 4 Wide, like I said, I can't say enough about them. They're all good guys. Kenny, Sal, Austin. I'm terrible with the strategy calls mid race, and they always seem to help out. Or if there's any little advantage to give at any of the tracks, we're all talking to each other, trying to get to go faster. So, really cool team to be a part of, and I appreciate them reaching out and bringing me on at the beginning of the year. And then Vidane TV, you guys honestly are the best. Really appreciate the calls during the race. I know for the guys that are running in real life, they get a little exposure over the winter, kind of bridges that gap from the summer back through to the spring. And, it's great for everybody. You guys do such a good job. And like I said, everybody looks forward to the broadcast on Thursday night.
All right, that's Stephen Daddio, fourth place finisher tonight and second in the official final point standings. Paul, back to you.
Yeah, and we'll take a quick look at the points, the final point standings here before we get the heck on out of Dodge for the final time this season. Kenny Kibbe, 44 points, that 4 card claiming the championship of the 4th season here at NEP. Why don't you go play that on the Play 3 or whatever the lottery numbers are. Daddy-O going to finish second. Bollier, Parent, and Roy, the top 5 in points. 3-time champ back there in 6th, and so on and so forth. It has been an absolutely entertaining season. It's been a phenomenal season here with NEP. Really looking forward to season 5. And as always, we are, in fact, going to kick off next season with an awards banquet. We do not have the details just yet. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to give out some awards like we did, like we've done here in previous years. And there may or may not be a little bit of hardware to hand out on that show. So be sure to follow along on all of the social media outlets at NEPI Racing, at Vidane TV. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all over the place. Be sure to shoot on over to Vidane.net. Still got a couple days on that 25% promo code at CHAMP25. Get yourself 25% off at checkout on all of your Vidane TV merchandise over at Vidane.net. But for myself, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., for AA Ron, Aaron Creed alongside me all season long. We will catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.